Bitcoin, global currency, one world currency? Stay tuned. Welcome. Now, my name is Terry Saka, and I'm the Chief Strategist of Wealth Transfer. And I want to say welcome mainly because we are now back in the satellite world. We're back with Dish and Direct, and we're back on the World Harvest Network. We will be airing not just this Monday that you're watching the show tonight, but also Thursday evenings at 9:30 as well. So this is going to be a tremendous, I think, upgrade for us at Wealth Transfer, because we've been in Christian television for, probably over 5 years now, teaching about the transfer, you could say, of the wicked or the wealth of the wicked in the world to we, the Christians in the kingdom. And we do it from a rather unique position. We're coming with strategic analysis. We're coming with tactical information. It's going to be just a little bit different than I think you're used to when it comes to finance. But one thing that's really important is we in the kingdom. We are in the world, remember, but we're not of the world. And we have to make sure we understand that the wealth that God has entrusted to us is taken care of and put in the right place. Now, it's not just about the whole tithing, not just about planting seeds, but it's actually for our future. And so if we're looking at from the church perspective, even the individual's perspective, what are we going to have in the future to not only allow us to bless ministries and bless churches, but also allow us to have an inheritance to our children and our children's children. So here at the Wealth Transfer, we're going to teach you what it is like to, well, let's just say, better yet, we're going to put you through the lenses of, let's say, a spirit-filled lens of how to deal with the world's information. Because what we're receiving out there in the world isn't really accurate. And I think the term fake news has taken on a whole new meaning. And folks, I hate to say it, but it's also in the finance. Most of the financial information you're given is not accurate. Everything from unemployment to debts, deficits, you name it, it's not accurate. Inflation, not accurate. So the important thing for us in the kingdom is to understand how can we protect ourselves so we can withstand, the attack on our buying power, right? How many of us remember in the last crisis, which they call Great Recession, really was a Great Depression, remember the buying power deterioration? Because if those who do remember, it was maybe, 90 cents or $1 for a gallon of gasoline? And yet now we're looking at, $3? And they say it's low? So the buying power has changed. Our ability for the dollar we earn or the dollar we save or the dollar we make an investment to buy something. And it doesn't have to be just food, gas, but think about car batteries, clothing, everything we do. Think about from the church's point of view, from the ministry's point of view, how we feed the world or how we have the missions that God has given each and every one of us. If we don't have a sustained buying power, if we don't have our assets in the right place, how are we going to be here when the reckoning comes? Now, what's a reckoning? We're going to get into that. So I do want to again say welcome to everyone out in the World Harvest community. This is going to be a very exciting venture to be back into the satellite. And we're looking forward to really showing you what the information is really telling you and not what the mainstream's trying to make you think. I do know for a lot of our regular audience, the set is different. We are going to have a new set here within weeks probably. But for now, we have a dynamic crew here at Total Living Network, and they are just wonderful. So I want to thank all of them. But we are going to talk about Bitcoin today. I know Bitcoin is a really big deal. It's something that, we hear about all the time, and we keep seeing the prices rise, but we need to get a grip on what that really means. So let's kind of dig right into this. And what you're going to find for the new viewers, we're going to show a lot of, let's say, charts, data, graphs, information, visuals to help you understand where we're going. For instance, in Bitcoin, a lot of people want to say, what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is a worldwide cryptocurrency It's a digital payment system called the first decentralized digital currency, since the system works without a central repository or single administrator. Now, folks, the term digital currency in itself better shake you in your boots if you're in the kingdom. Now, granted, if you're like me and probably most of us, we walk around with our debit cards or credit cards. Very few walk around with cash. Now, I personally carry cash. I'm not afraid. I'd rather have cash at all times, even gold when I travel, because you never know when something breaks down. I'm making sure I'm getting home to my family. But digital currency is what this is. Now, it seems really exciting. The price is rising, the price is changing, and people are getting really, really excited about the concept of making money in Bitcoin, to the point where they're even going into IRAs. But remember the term digital currency. Who controls the internet, right? Who controls the switch, right? And we're going to get into a lot more detail than that, but I want you to keep that in mind. So now, being that Bitcoin is a digital currency, it's also known as a cryptocurrency. Now, what is a cryptocurrency? A cryptocurrency, or a crypto, and we can think of that, it's an encrypted data code, is a digital asset. Now, that alone should scare you, but it's designed to work as a medium of exchange using cryptography to secure the transaction and to control the creation of additional units of currency. Cryptocurrencies are classified as a subset of digital currencies and are also classified as a subset alternative currency and virtual currency. Now, I really appreciate the definition. I actually took these off of the wiki, I almost say WikiLeaks. And for all of us that know, WikiLeaks is the one that really exposes some truth, but Wikipedia, and I really appreciate the fact they use the word currency, because it's not money. You see, money is defined as a storage of value over time, and currencies aren't really backed up by anything. They're just kind of in a float. What we have here today, almost now, well, I believe it is now, 100% globally, we are using what we know as fiat currencies. So the paper dollar in your wallet, if you've noticed, says a dollar reserve note. Now remember, a note is an IOU, so it's a slave instrument, and I use that word righteously. It's about being enslaved by the system because it's not really backed up by an asset. So in the fiat currencies that are in your wallet and around the world are just pieces of paper. And the governments are backing it up saying, hey, we're good for the money. But it's a currency, folks. It's not money. Now, we in the United States are used to having dollar bills that were called silver certificates. It was backed by silver. And by the way, that's the only constitutional asset that really we should be having. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution does say Congress has a right to coin money, but money was defined as grains of silver, grains of gold. It was backed up by a tangible asset. Now, why all through history was that the case? It's because how much gold and silver you had in the vault allowed you to basically build your budget. So you stayed within a means like we, the people, have to do. Wouldn't you love the opportunity to just print $1 billion out of thin air and go spend it knowing you'll never repay it? Folks, that's our national debt. That's who we are as a nation. And we are the largest creditor nation, or we were the largest creditor nation in the world. Now we're the largest debtor nation. We have more debt in the United States than any country in the history of the world. And so it's pretty remarkable. But Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, this is a really big deal. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins, are digital. And you're hearing the hype on it, but remember, because of the digital platform, you don't have as much control as you think you do. And more importantly, who's watching, right? And so the last component of a digital currency in a cryptid type of format is what they call blockchain. Now, blockchain is the technology behind digital currencies. And I tell you folks right now, blockchain is going rampant through banking systems and governments. Blockchain, originally blockchain is a continuously growing list of records called blocks. Think of it as a chain link in an actual strip of chain, which are linked and secured using cryptography. Each block contains typically a hash pointer as a link to a previous block. It has a timestamp and transaction data attached to it. By design, blockchains are inherently resistant to modification of the data, well, supposedly, and functionally, a blockchain can serve as an open, distributed ledger that can record transactions between two parties efficiently and in a verifiable and permanent way. Now, folks, I hate to say this, most of you think blockchain and these cryptocurrencies are secrets. Nobody knows who owns it. No one knows what you're doing with it. It's not a centralized currency or a money, and we can bypass the government. We're in great shape now, right? Are we? Because see, what they're not telling you is because of the blockchain technology, they're able to literally take the IP address similar to that timestamp data and link it in through all of your other activity throughout the internet. Think of what Facebook does, what Google does. Think of Amazon for that matter, right? As soon as you lock in, that IP locks in, it knows where you are, who you are, and where you're going, and starts offering advice, let's say. So keep in mind that blockchain is not private. Now, currently, we're able to go around the world and use our blockchain or our cryptocurrencies to buy and sell, and we think we're doing it anonymously. But think about it for a moment. Do you really think the IRS will allow that? I don't think so. And another thing to keep in mind, do you think the governments are scared? Do you think they're looking at blockchain or BitCoin and going, oh no, what are we going to do about it? If I have to have my way, I know we're going to get into some of the details, but not deep enough. You could do your research. The blockchain software was created by a gentleman over in Asia, and it's supposed to be kind of anonymous. That was how it was pitched. That's just not true. And the governments are allowing it to exist for reasons that we're going to get into, but you need to understand. So I get it. If you want to do some speculation and have some fun in Bitcoin or any other form of cryptocurrency, I can understand that. Just like playing with a stock or a bond in the market. But when it comes to the retirement of we the people, when it comes to protecting our assets and preserving our wealth, not just individually for our retirement, our children's children inheritance, what about the ministries? What about our churches? You see, I contend we are in a reckoning. I contend we are in a period right now that is so built on smoke and mirrors through a massive increase in debt since the 2008 depression, I mean Great Recession, as they want to tell you. We just didn't have the long lines because they're giving you the debit cards now to go get your free food. But keep in mind, since then, we have seen dramatic increases in global debt, and it's not forever. Nothing goes straight up, and I contend there's a global reckoning coming. And so for all the new viewers, I think you're going to find this highly, highly informative. If you miss one of the days, you can always go to the website at wealthtransferministries.org or give us a call and we'll guide you. So I do want to go in to explain Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, digital currency is something I get the excitement on. Heck, I might even buy a couple Bitcoins to play with, but it is not something I'm going to do with my savings. It's not something I'm going to use that matters, money that matters. We have to be responsible, folks. We, the people of the United States, are not given accurate information. And we think 2008 was bad. Wait until you see the reckoning that is coming. And when I say reckoning, we're looking at a global reset of currencies to such a magnitude you have never seen it before. I contend we're in a normalcy bias state of mind, which is a psychological condition in America. We haven't seen it. We're intelligent people that has not seen it, has not been part of it, and we're kind of in denial that it's going to happen. But folks, the American dollar is not the powerhouse reserve currency you think it is. And as we get into explaining this over the handful of weeks here, you're going to see what I mean as far as reserve currency, the Chinese, how their yuan was added to the reserve currency basket, and how it's really working. Because if you understand where this really is going and what's actually taking place today, you'll know at any moment we are near a reckoning. And when I say reckoning, a period 2008 on steroids. And if we're not properly protected with forms of our retirement or our cash assets, or basically your hard-earned wealth, what happened in 2008 will destroy, and we can't allow that in the kingdom. If we lose our wealth, we will lose the ability to protect and preserve our right to speak. Thank God for the president right now, appointing the Supreme Court justices who will back up the church. We have an advocate in the White House right now that is standing up for Christianity. So for now we have it, but folks, we know we were literally seconds away from being destroyed in the kingdom if it would have went another 4 years of socialism or down that path of socialism. What we are seeing socially in our society anyway is not what you think it is. And I'm not going to get into that, but you do have to understand we are being played by the media. We are being played by the global socialist communist order. They want a global socialist order, as we the people understand it to be in the kingdom, the one world order, the one world government. So understand that we're being played, and we just got a reprieve, but I'm not so sure that reprieve is something that will be there for us. So what I want to do is take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Terrorism, a volatile stock market, rising food costs, natural disasters. Every day our economy is at risk, but your assets should not be. Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked so hard to gain. Whether you have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, our accredited asset management specialists are here to support you. Call now and we'll send you urgent information regarding changes to the dollar and challenges to our economy that you need to be prepared for. Learn how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA. We can even arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or send it directly to your home. Do not delay. Call 888-747-3309 or register online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com today. Invest in precious metals and create security in your future today. Call now.
Welcome back. So do understand, though, when it comes to protecting your assets, we're a big advocate, of course, of tangible assets, and Cornerstone Asset Metals is a phenomenal company. They produce in the whole refining minting process a 4.9 purity silver that allows you to protect your IRAs and retirement accounts. So I do advocate for tangible assets, because in the end, folks, tangible assets are all we're going to have to protect ourselves. I mean, I know houses, land, and diamonds and other things that are tangible are good. Silver is our constitutional money, Article 1, Section 8, and biblical, of course. Haggai 2:8, the silver's mine. And as all through the Bible, folks, we know silver always had been God's money. Reason being, you can't fake it and you can't make it. Okay, so I do want to get into showing you why I believe this reckoning is very close. I know people are talking about it, but this is known as the American financial state. If you notice on the graph, from the left to the right, we have a red is debt, and then the green is our revenue, meaning how much they fleece off of we the people in the taxation that we shouldn't have had in the first place, but we have no choice to pay. And then the deficits that we have, which is the break between how much we have in revenue and how much our bills are. If you've noticed the debt, now every president since Reagan has been increasing debt, but understand right now we are at a tune of $20 trillion in debt, which is astronomical as far as a number goes. That reverse mountain is not changing anytime soon. And I know people talk about the debt, it's so bad. Folks, it's a lot worse than you think. This world has been adding more debt at an astronomical rate since 2008 than you can even imagine. And they're trying to make you think it doesn't have an impact. But I'm here to tell you it absolutely does. There are things leading up to the reckoning. There's a reason why you have a tremendous amount of politics, especially on the left side, that wanted to go to war with Russia. There's a reason, beyond the fact they're trying to usher in global socialism, there's a reason going to war with Russia was important. And I really contend it was for a distraction of the financial reckoning that's coming to the dollar. And wait till you see over the weeks here as we get into the petrodollar, the wars in the Middle East, where Russia comes in, where China comes in, what the United States is really up to and their allies, and what's taking place in the currencies, not just the euro, but the dollar itself. So as you see in our debt, we are seriously in debt. Now, does it seem to matter? I know the argument I'm hearing now, we can just go into debt infinity. When you hear about a balanced budget, reduce the debt, complete smoke and mirrors. Our Keynesian economics will never allow that to happen. And they're going to raise the debt ceiling without a doubt here coming soon. Now, I know they're arguing, they're saying because of the border wall and financing here, there's going to be some contention in politics. But folks, they're raising the debt ceiling, okay? They're never reducing it. Because if you understand the global economic and the Keynesian model, you would realize they have no choice. We must continue to increase debt. Now, many say, well, if they could just increase debt forever, then what's the big deal? Well, there's always a reckoning because there's always countries around the world that kind of get in arguments, just like children get spats with one another, right? So do countries. And I'm here to tell you, China is probably the most brilliant I've ever seen. They play both sides of the fence very well. Russia has been the direct antagonizer on the dollar's supreme reserve currency status, but that's changing as well, and we're going to get into showing that. So the problem with debt, the Keynesian model, is Keynesian was a socialist, and it was about spending money, going into debt, and spending money and interest. We should have went into, of course, the Austrian economics, which was about saving and producing. And unfortunately, we just didn't do that. The socialists went out. Now, the reason I contend the socialists seem to always win throughout the world, but most of the world predominantly is some form of socialist or Marxist or communist for that matter, right? Is because Lucifer is right square in the middle of socialism. Socialism is about you not having a God, and we, in the Luciferian or Satanistic mindset, for that matter, are in control. And a lot of people that are socialists, mind you, they're good people. They're just incredibly ignorant. And I guess what I've learned is ignorance is free. So, they just don't get it, and they would rather take from you than go and earn something for themselves. So this is a global phenomenon, but the Bible makes it very clear. We are in debt. We are servant to the bondholder, right? So let's go into some scriptures here for this. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Now that's what I was trying to get out of my mouth earlier when I was fumbling it up, but that's Proverbs 22:7. I'm a little bit better now. I think I got my groove going a little, so hopefully we'll be a little more focused. But the next one I want to say is, no man can serve two masters. Mammon, Matthew 6:23. You were bought at a price. Do not become slaves of men. That's 1 Corinthians 7:23. Now the reason I bring those scriptures up is borrower is servant to the lender. We're slaves, folks. And I know that's a hot button right now, but believe me, that is all bogus anyway, for the most part. That whole narrative is bogus for the most part. Everything you're seeing in this Antifa fascist movement is all smoke and mirrors. It's all designed to cause division in our country, to get ready for the financial reckoning that's coming. In all history, when you notice of certain financial reckonings taking place, we went to war, or there was some type of social division. So it's something to be very concerned about, because this has always been the case. Socialism, communism is always here. America was different. America left tyranny in Europe. We left the oppressive British government. We came here to be free to worship Jesus Christ and develop freedom to go from A to B. Stay away from my children. Give me a gun and rights to defend myself. But we are now in a position in our country where we are now debt so much so we are in bondage. And bondage, if you know who the lenders are, you're not going to like. So I know this is a little bit, to some extent you know some of this, but I'm giving you the Luciferian spin, the spiritual spin as well, because I've had tremendous revelations. I've been involved in natural resources for quite some time. I myself, for those that don't know, I do come from financial background. I am an accredited asset management specialist. I held multiple licenses, a Series 3 in commodities, Series 7 financial advisory, 63 and 65. So I have an idea of what the world is pitching to you, and God bless your advisors. But folks, the fiat currency system is coming to a reckoning. I know you're having some little success in the markets right now, but get protected, be hedged. Do not be all in on the market system. These cryptocurrencies are attractive. Bitcoin's exciting, but believe me, do you remember the day all of you had gone, or many of you have gone to dinner and your credit card was denied, right? Now I want you to think about that. The credit card denied. And you think you want all your assets in something that's digital? So keep that in mind. We're going to get more into the Bitcoin, more into the debt, and a little deeper into what we would call the Chinese and the global reckoning. That's all today for Wealth Transfer. But remember, the transfer of the wicked to us and the innocent is coming. So God bless each and every one of you. We'll catch you later.
Terrorism, a volatile stock market, rising food costs, natural disasters. Every day our economy is at risk, but your assets should not be. Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked so hard to gain. Whether you have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, our accredited asset management specialists are here to support you. Call now and we'll send you urgent information regarding changes to the dollar and challenges to our economy that you need to be prepared for. Learn how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA. We can even arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or send it directly to your home. Do not delay. Call 888-747-3309 or register online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com today. Invest in precious metals and create security in your future today. Call now.